Hello, my loves. I just want to share one of my brief shares because you know I'm a sharer, and today has just been hectic. And it's like every time I go to make the video or just record the audio for this week's issue of my Rooted and Radiant newsletter, something happens. And I was like, I feel like God is telling me to slow down. So I decided to just slow down. I'm constantly driving and traveling. So I'm just going to take a minute, and while I'm in this random parking lot, I'm going to do the video. And I think there's like some type of message and stuff like that. When stuff like that happens, pay attention, because there's like a message. If there's a blockage, it's kind of like the universe or God saying, wait, no, not yet. Not yet. Now. So just want to throw that in there. But this week's issue is about how we spend so much time focusing on everything else and not enough time focusing on our internal things, you know? I was having a conversation the other day, and someone was like talking about all this stuff going wrong and all these issues and problems and stressors, and I go, well, if you had one wish, would you waste it on that? And they were like, no. And I was like, so why are you worried about it? And so that's my question to you, me, everyone. Like, if you wouldn't waste one of your 3 magic wishes, we all know the genie stories. If you had 3 magic wishes, why are you wasting energy on things that you wouldn't wish for? It's like, I've got these 3 wishes and I could use one of them to change this situation in my life. It's not so much worth it anymore when you start thinking about it in those terms, but more often than not, we don't think about it in those terms. So that's just something I think we need to be more intentional about. And when you quiet all that outside noise and worry about all the problems and all the things, then you're able to listen to your intuition. And when your intuition kicks in, it's like, okay, what's my next best move? And then it comes and you follow it. And then life just unfolds beautifully. You know, I've been working on this massive project, and it's like more and more to it, you know, all these intricacies. And sometimes I've been thrown with things that are out of my control, and I have to pivot. And luckily, because I am so ADHD, I'm always pivoting in my mind anyway. So pivoting for me isn't as complicated as other people, because I have tons of backup plans and ideas. I'm inspired by like looking at a tree. I'm like, have a whole book in my brain that I want to write. Like, oh, that tree just made me think about a family living in it. It would just be crazy. But the pivot is great. And sometimes to get to the answer for those things that you're stressing and going over and over again in your head, it sounds crazy, but you have to stop that. You have to let all of that go, focus on something else, preferably something that brings you joy, peace, happiness. And in the midst of all of that, something will shift. Whether it's an internal factor or you get the call, the email, whatever that it was you were waiting on, the shift happens when you really learn to just let it go. And letting go is moment by moment, you know? It's hard to just wake up and say, I let go of everything, not worrying about anything ever again. We're humans, we fall short, but when we're able to find those moments where we can just let go of something and go outside and spin in circles in the grass with your daughter and your niece, because that's one of my favorite things to do. When you have those moments, it helps you to just shift, you know? So whatever small things you can do to get yourself there are going to be beneficial. And I just want to remind each of us that we need to spend more time focusing on shifting that internal energy so we can see the actual shifts we want to happen in the physical material world. I hope that helped somebody. I feel like I was everywhere. Hopefully I wasn't, but I told you I have a million things going through my head right now. Thank you for subscribing. I will see you next week. I just wanted to share because, you know, I'm a sharer.